This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to this week's edition of the Pitstop. We are back to live, and, this is one of those cases. I tell you guys all the time, here's my email address, here's our Discord channel. There's so many ways to get in touch and contact me, get in touch with and contact me. And if you ever have thoughts, opinions on what we're doing, how we can be better, I'm always listening. We are always listening. And one of the things that a lot of people have asked and requested was the pit stop coming back to being live. So it might take a while to get everybody knowing that we're live again. That's okay. We'll put in the work. But the thing is, you said it and we listened, and this is our response. So I am watching your comments. We are here with a good selection of stories today. And I think that in general, I will starting to trim some of the less important stories so that maybe we can have more conversation. That's an area where I'm going to let you guys affect the show. This is one of the rare shows where you guys play a role live. I mean, if it's a racing show live, obviously I'm distracted by your comments, but I have a very, very clear agenda. Our agenda here is really to talk about the most important news stories in sim racing. So hopefully we'll get to a point where we get more and more viewers again, and the more people, the more participation, the more fun we'll have. I think the one thing that I need to do, good observation, Heiko. Yes, I do. Last Friday I was at the racetrack, so I got a full day of sun. Not too much, just enough to start the season, I guess. I use sunscreen, but it was pretty sunny out there. Anyway, all right. So that's what gets us to today. Marco FF, what up? Simmobilista, you want to rename the show just today's or always, Tofi? So I think that there are a few things. When we went away from the live show version, we were doing multiple shows a week, then we trimmed it down to 3, and then we brought it to the Friday. And with the pre-recorded version, I think it just kind of didn't have as much fun. I think we're already having a little bit more fun. It's Friday. I always talk about this kicking off the weekend for me, for us. That usually means racing Friday night, Saturday, Sunday for a lot of people out there. So that's one thing that I always loved about doing a Friday morning show. Is that it kind of gets me pumped up. I mean, I finished this show and I'm getting right in my rig. That's the kind of day, the kind of game plan. So before I get to the news, real quick, things I do want to mention. I did put out a video. I don't have a link here for it, but for everything else I'm going to talk about, I have a link in the description, but we're already here at YouTube. I did put out a video early this week, and this just shows you what a great week I've had. Deathmobile 2.0. So one of my most famous videos, and most of you are my most loyal viewers, so you've heard this spiel, so I'll keep it short. But one of my most famous videos would have been Deathmobile 1.0. It was an iconic video at Inside Sim Racing. It was me and Terry Allen building the rig. It was Darren Ganji filming and kind of narrating what was going on, and it was a great piece. It's a historic piece in sim racing. Anyway, it's long overdue. And another thing that so many people have requested was Deathmobile 2.0. And I've talked about it for years, and it was time to take it on. So the beginning of the week, we did the whole planning phase and did a video. And then just yesterday, I filmed for 5.5 hours. It was I played with the footage already. It was 4 hours of build time to build the new Deathmobile 2.0 from start to finish. And in 2 hours, we did complete it. Anyway, I have a later today for the patron. Actually, as soon as this show's over, I'm going to release for the patron only the Benny Hill 2 minutes. It's a 4-hour build in 2 minutes. If you didn't get a chance to watch it live, you can watch the 2-minute version. That'll be coming out for the patron only today. Tomorrow, the general public, the general Simpit fans can plan on watching it. Anyway, and then we're already moving into phase 2. So we're going to move right along on this project. So more on that to come. What is going on in sim racing? I'm sorry about the long intro, but I feel with us going live, we deserve a little extra space. So the other thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to pay a little more attention to the stories. Like I said, we might get rid of some of the less important, focus on the most important. This week, hands down, the most, and if you don't know, I really wonder what rock have you been hiding under? Fanatic Fan Attack. I'm going to stop it right here. Now, if you think about this, we saw this base way back when BMW talked about making sim racing furniture. That was the first sighting of this wheel in concept, conceptually speaking. This is like half. They called it on April Fool's Day. They joked about it and they gave it some serious Star Wars terminology to joke on it and play on it. They joked about this on April 1st. We didn't think it was such a joke, did we? This was the red cyborg light teaser that went on. What is it? Remember? That was just a couple weeks ago. 5 Newton meters of torque. That puts it at about the range of a T-Series Thrustmaster wheel, like a TSXW, a TGT, the TS level, not T. TS level wheels. It's a a medium light strength wheel, but the advantages of a direct drive. And I have to be honest, they said here in their post, this is a complete game changer. What do you hear about the price? If you didn't hear, 8 Newton meters with the optional boost kit. Metal. CSL DD. $349.95. I'm not sure if you realize. I mean, honestly, if you had asked me 2 years ago, what is the biggest thing that sim racing needed? And I'd say they need a DD quality wheel. And I'll get to the quality in a second, in a moment. At a entry-level price. I consider in modern 2021, $350 is a fair entry price. You still need a wheel rim on top of that, so it's still going to be another $300 on top of that. Yeah, now, so they've always had a weird thing with their pricing, Fanatic, where the U.S. pricing matched the with VAT price. It was like kind of 1-to-1, and I remember that was a complaint by the Europeans way back when. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure what the final price will be to us. But regardless, even with a little extra. So here's their thing. So including VAT, excluding VAT, $349. We don't pay VAT. That's, I think, anyway. Comes with the carbon fiber composite axis. This increases responsiveness and acceleration a lot. Well, one of the things that I've complained about, and maybe the big podium is actually guilty of this, is internal mass and how it reduces reaction speed. It includes the patented flux barrier, which is pretty funny. Did they? Yeah, so there's our flux barrier. Anyway, you know what? This is huge, you guys. Direct drive wheels have less internal parts to break. One of the Achilles heel. I'm not trying to take anything away from a CSL or a Club Sport base or from any of the Thrustmaster or Logitechs. But eventually, something that drivetrain is where it's going to die. Chances are. So, plus 500 for the Newton meters. The extra 3 is going to cost, yeah, that would be too funny. I think game changer is fair wording. I'm not going to lie. I think this is big. This is really big. How big? It's already got 105,000 views. This just came out. Anyway, congratulations to Fan Attack. I cannot wait to try out this wheel. It's just one of those moments in sim racing. $350 is less expensive than a TSXW base. I mean, it's less expensive than a Logitech wheel when they release. So if you think about it, a Logitech wheel kit comes out at $399. Now, of course, that includes pedals, used to include shifter, but that's a full wheel. So I mean, this you're still on the expensive side of entry level. Let's face it, $350 for the base, $300 for a wheel rim, $300 minimum for their pedal. So you know you're still looking at $1,000 entry, but that's going to be a really nice $1,000 entry set. The other thing is, for those who already have a CSL base, let's face it, it's not going to last as long as a Club Sport base. But maybe you already bought a couple of wheel rims, so you're likely not going to change family unless you're going to go all into DD and Cube Control wheel or something. Anyway, I just, yeah, it'll be sold out as soon as they come out. So we will ship it. So CSL DD users, we will ship it in Q3 this year, and pre-orders will open as soon as we have reliable shipping date. So, you know, we are right now, we're in Q2 already, aren't we? Or coming up on? Yeah, we're into Q2. So, figure, you know, midsummer-ish? All right, that is hands down the biggest news. But, you know, I would say they've been outdone. But I don't want to take anything away from what Thrustmaster has done this week. So if you didn't get a chance to see this, again, I wonder, what rock have you been hiding under? We can only do so much audio. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, come on. Come on. Ah! This is awesome. This is also awesome. What a week in sim racing. This is the new Thrustmaster SF1000 edition Ferrari wheel add-on that'll work with all T-Series wheels, we could say. It's got a display. If you owned one of the F1 wheels, the original F1 wheel, which we saw earlier in the video, I'm not going to be able to find it. But if you remember the original, one of the most annoying things about the original F1 wheel was that that center dial didn't move. Well, look, everything's functional here. So now the downside of this was available worldwide. Oh, this is new. Available worldwide August 26th. So Thrustmaster was only originally able to get 1,000 units, and they all went to Europe. And when I first heard they were going to go to Europe only, I hadn't heard how many their quantity was, and I thought, oh, how dare they? How dare they exclude North America? I was actually really offended on your behalf, on our behalf. And then when I heard there were only 1,000 units, I'm like, you know, in 2021, 1,000 units is kind of nothing. Anyway, so all of them went to Europe. Worldwide, August 26th. And again, this is a big deal. This is a nice looking wheel. If you have a Thrustmaster setup, if you're in the Thrustmaster family, this is absolutely a must-have wheel. I mean, right? And I've already heard they're trying to get integration with iRacing. Right now, it's fully integrated with Cody's series. But I've heard, you know, they'll get more into it. The price on this was a little reasonable, too. Actually, it was very reasonable. Where was the price? Here it is. So right now, without the chrono paddles, so there's the upgraded chrono paddle here, interchangeable, sold separately. This incredibly beautiful wheel is going to be $349, $350 here in the States, €349, $329 pounds. The paddles will set us back an extra $70. So the full-blown version would be $420 with their chrono paddles. Brandon, we're not going to get a review version in round 1. I've talked Thrustmaster because it's only going to Europe. They're really primarily giving it I'm sure there are a few bigger channels in the U.S. who are going to get it. But no, we'll probably get it, in a few months, closer to August, when they have another batch in the works, so to speak. So unfortunately, I can tell you right now, we will not be getting one unless somebody in Europe bought one and decided they're going to send it to us for fun. Anyway, and I haven't heard word on the Fan Attack DD either, but I haven't talked to them. I did confirm with Thrustmaster. All right, on with some other news. Now we'll kind of pick up the pace just a little bit, you guys, because let's face it, I want to focus on the bigger stories. Now, of course, anything we come across, I have a link to everything in the description. So if you want to follow along, there is a link to every story we're talking about right there in the description. This one I just think is awesome. So posted by Gran Turismo. The Olympic Virtual Series is about to begin. This is the real deal Olympics. This is the real Olympics we're talking about. The International Olympic Committee made a landmark move into virtual sports by announcing first ever Olympic Virtual Series. Gran Turismo has been selected as one of its competitions. So what does that mean? That means that for the first time ever, although in this virtual capacity, sim racing is going to be represented at the Olympics. You could win an Olympic gold medal in Gran Turismo this year. I don't know what the qualifications are. I'm assuming that Gran Turismo is going to help. I should have read more. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm going to do so much better about this moving forward, you guys. World Sailing, Virtual Regatta. Oh, now I really have to go play that game. Tofi, it should be. I mean, I think that moving forward in the modern era, that people would have to make the argument that Zwift might even need to be in a real Olympics. I don't know where the world's going to go. Technology. Will the Olympics forever maintain that certain grounded and real sport? I don't know. Some would argue that they've already left that in some of the sports they consider. All five would do in line with development, about broadcast, YouTube, photos, social media. I didn't see qualifying. Let me read. I'm going to try. Again, I will try to do better on this. I don't see. Can you give us a heads up, Tofi? 3 lines above regatta. Thank you. Zwift. Oh, Zwift, you were saying. Zwift will be in it. Thank you. That's what you were talking about. The qualifications. Now, I think... Now, hasn't curling been in the Olympics for, ever? So, yeah, you could participate in the Olympics, Virtual Olympics, and World Baseball Softball Confederation, E-Baseball Powerful Pro Baseball 2020 by Konami, Zwift, World Rowing, World Sailing, and Federation International de Automobile Gran Turismo. So they're probably going to pull, if this is the FIA, then they're probably going to pull from their Nations and Manufacturers Cup, would be my guess. That would be, those are the best of the best in the eyes of FIA and Gran Turismo. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to let you guys know something. I am a huge curling fan. My brother and I will watch curling. It's on right now, so I know a lot of people only tune in for the Olympics. Curling's on right now on my cable, and we watch it. And if you have a subscription to Obscure Sports Quarterly, they cover it there as well. All right, moving on. All right, iRacing is going to be hosting an event on July 31st. This is the National Multiple Sclerosis Society to Team Up for War special event. I didn't do that very well. It's going to be a 4-hour race at Charlotte, benefiting the National MS Society. Feature the global Mazda MX-5, the Audi LMS, the Porsche Cayman, the BMW GT4, and the McLaren GT4 on the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, and will mark iRacing's first partnership with the nonprofit organization for the event. While a number of prizes will be available to donors who contribute to the $20,000 fundraiser goal set for the race. Prizes on the line for donors include the all-new Race X Pro chassis from SimLab, Fanatic Club Sport Wheelbase V2.5, and a podium steering wheel R300. So this is going to be going on July 31st, and everybody who donates, it looks like, will be eligible for prizes, 2 fast repairs during the event. So that's going on July 31st. You're looking for fun and like the Mazdas or those GT4 cars. There's another Rallycross All-Star Invitational presented by Yokohama, and Baccarood won the event at Brands Hatch. So Baccarood, Andreas Baccarood wins the race over Henrik Krogstad, and Tanner Witten came in 3rd place, and that was in the final. And then they had the sim racer results, and it was Johan Harth, John Robertson, and Tommy Hallman. So that went on that. And then Brad Kozlowski wins the NASCAR counterpart, the eNASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational Series. He wins at Talladega. So it's Kozlowski over Christopher Bell, with Kyle Busch finishing in 3rd. Look, everyone's there. Everyone's there. And they all had to beat Dale Earnhardt Jr., by the way. They all had to beat Alex Bowman, by the way. And that's cool. I didn't get to watch either because I was building rigs. All right. Curling chat. All right. Assetto Corsa posted this video. Congratulations to @F1 for the upcoming @F1 Miami. Enjoy this virtual onboard lap made by Apex Circuit Design on Assetto Corsa. Welcome to Miami. Jump on board for a virtual lap of the sun-soaked circuit that will play host to the F1 Miami in 2022. This is a big deal for F1 fans, and it's really cool to see 2 years in advance the layout. Not sure how accurate this will be to the final version. Obviously a classic city course with the walls bordering both sides. Virtually no runoff whatsoever. That's going to be crazy and hairy. Very high speed, obviously, looking at this long backstretch. Obviously good passing zone. A little bit of finesse. So this is the Miami Grand Prix of 2022. Assetto Corsa, by the way. So that we're talking dated. We're not talking competizione. We're looking at graphics and certain aspects, and obviously a very early design of the track. Again, we have no idea the accuracy, but Formula One posted this. Alright, what else? Grid, of all things. Grid Season 3 is available, download now for Ultimate Edition players on the Xbox One, the PS4, and PC via Steam. So if you had Grid and you forgot about it, but you had bought the Ultimate Edition, Season 3 is now available. That was on the 15th. That was right after our last show, I do believe. Okay, so number 1, if you have NASCAR Heat 2 or 3, this always ruffles feathers when this happens. Always. Sunsetting NASCAR Heat 2 and NASCAR Heat 3 online servers. If you're still clinging on, if you're still hanging on to NASCAR Heat 2 or 3, 2 generations ago, they're shutting you down on April 30th. That's it. No more. In addition to that, there is the Ultimate Summer Showdown, which is going to be running from April 23rd through July 8th. And this is going to be one of their big competitions going on. Open qualifications for the Ultimate Summer Showdown begin on April 30th with players on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and... top 24 from each platform will be invited to take part in the live-streamed event finals on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. The first race event will see players take to Darlington. I just read that. How do they get away with... Do they do the same broadcast to all three, or do they have three different streams? How do they get around broadcasting to multiple platforms? Because isn't Restream technically illegal? I guess if they got permission from Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I don't know. Am I wrong in that? Anybody who has a heads up, I'd love to know. Rita had an update. This sucks. In their words, not mine. Rita Studios, their words. This sucks. And this was my photo of the day. Well, not this actual one here, but version 1.1.4.0 update is now live, featuring the famous Brabham BT46B fan car. A paid account. Is that how you do it, Tofi? Thank you. Along with another large batch of improvements. Read all about it here, which we will. So, an update to Automobilista, including a famous car. I'm sure John Hill is now thinking, I might need to get Automobilista 2 to try out the fan car. Because I think John Hill is a fan of the fan. I know the other fan cars you are. Anyway, this happened, what was the date? I didn't see, the update was on the 17th. And designer Gordon Murray came up with the design. And I think, no. That was our thumbnail of the day. Anyway, here is the changelog. In addition to the car, a whole bunch of updates and changes to the ever getting better, already great and ever getting better Automobilista 2. Well, so Caleb, I actually did, when I was doing both YouTube and stream and Twitch simultaneously, I was making sure that they're technically different streams. So I have two cameras right there. One was to Twitch, one was to YouTube. One of them incorporated the over the shoulder, the other did not. So I made the streams completely separate and different, even though they're covering the exact same moment, which was kind of cool. But that was my workaround without technically using Restream, which is technically against their terms of service, but I was probably too small to even matter. This Wednesday, and I have to do a better job of reminding you guys, a hot lap hump day on the pit stop before the event. It's always, of course, the final Wednesday of the month. Did I get that wrong? Third Wednesday of the month. So that was this Wednesday, and Elvis Rankin is racking up the trophies and the Rick Motec t-shirts with just a phenomenal record of doing very well in these events. Had to work his way through traffic and did just that. I had a little moment or incident, just racing moment as I got taken out from the lead. Elvis went on to win the whole thing. Congratulations, Elvis, Little King Rankin. You are an amazing sim racer, and I just got to give you credit. And thank you, Rick Motec, Kevin Ford, for hosting that event, Robbie Unser for coming along and doing it as well. Don't forget, because, well, Euro Truck's telling you not to forget. Don't forget about the Renault Trucks Evolution Design Contest reminder. If you're a painter, you could get you could see your design in a real life full wrapped Renault truck, and then you can win a T150. And if you watch this show, chances are you'd sell the T150, so you'd get yourself a little bit of free money. But more importantly, can you imagine having your art on a real Renault truck? That would be badass. Anyway, if you're a painter, get out there and do it. I have a link down there if you want to check it out. I have a few people who actually have told me they were getting weird frame rates, and I had no answer for them. Apparently, In some cases, a recent Windows 10 update is trashing frame rates and causing games to stutter. I'm not having that problem, but if you are, I have the link to this one in the description below. Like I said, I'm going to try to inform you things and move along on the important things like the Fanatic wheel, the Thrustmaster wheel. We're going to take the time to talk about it. So, excuse me. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. Let me clear my... The checkeredflag.co.uk with an... I'd heard this on a few different Twitter feeds that I have. Wild West Motorsport Park is closing, cites unfortunate circumstances. And we maybe could talk about this topic for a little while. I mean, is the future of motorsports Formula One where they come in and they build a track for entertainment purposes, but you and I never get to enjoy it other than watching the race? What about amateur racing? Because one by one here in North America, no matter what you race, tracks are closing. So even though right now, like one of my favorite tracks is Button Willow, and they're actually expanding the track, but as fast as they're expanding that one, there's another one being shut down tomorrow. You look at other tracks like California Speedway, it's like they talk about maybe it being, rebuilt, rejuvenated, and at the same time, it can close tomorrow. You never know. So Wild West Motorsport Park is closing, and that's just really unfortunate for North American racing. And I wonder, is Europe fighting this too? I'm pretty sure this is going on worldwide. They build tracks in cool areas where no one lives. Then uptight people, I'll call them yuppies, they move into that neighborhood. They move in where there's already a track, and they want it removed because it's noisy, it's dirty, it brings in a filthy element, people like us. I'm sorry to be the filthy element, but I very much am. Except I clean up, I don't leave a mess. But yeah, my car is loud. Our cars are loud. I'll give you that. But why'd you move next to a track? So, now, on the flip side, or a more positive turn on the story, iRacing has a beautiful rendition of Wild West Motorsport Park. It may close in real life, but at least there will be, at least for a certain period of time, a drivable memory of it. Unfortunate that it's closing. Really is unfortunate. So, I think of Irwindale. Irwindale has been on the chopping block forever. It was one of their early tracks for iRacing. I mean, it's an important West Coast track. And at the same time, every year they talk about it closing. Every single year. Every year they talk about closing Irwindale. All right, moving right along, and then we'll bring this show to a close. What's our time check? We're at 35 minutes. That's pretty comfortable because we are getting towards the end of the show, and most of the other stuff I kind of rifle through, like this one. FIA reveals details of a groundbreaking electric GT category. The FIA has revealed technical details of what is described as groundbreaking electric GT category plan for the future. Oh, man. At some point, you guys, we're going to have to get on the front of the electric world because the days are coming. That's an awesome looking car. It looks like, wow, it looks like a Ford GT, like modernized, kind of. No, it looks like a lot of cars smashed. That's a cool looking car, you guys. But electric racing is going to be the future, and it seems to me that even FIA realizes this. Yeah, but Tofi, if electric cars get bigger and bigger and bigger, anybody ever had one of those magnetic chargers for your phone? If everybody's in an electric car, and I can put my hand over that magnetic thing, it's not going to shock me or do any weirdness. At some point, wouldn't the cars just be able to run on the roads? If the whole world's gone electric, don't you think the roads will be electrified, perhaps, instead of all the cars carrying batteries, which batteries are really bad and for the environment? If every car had a battery in it right now, we'd be in bigger trouble than we would be burning gas. A different type of environmental trouble. But at some point, you could remove the battery, or at least make the battery smaller, by electrifying the road and having magnetic type thing. You could do that with a race car. If you could certainly do that with a controlled surface of a race car. It's called a trolley. Well, I'm assuming that if we remove... So I don't want to turn this into a whole thing on electric, but like believe me, I have a gas-burning V8 that just leaks gas out the tailpipe. But on the same... at the same time, hey, technologies. So if you remove the battery from the car, you remove so much weight that the motors are going to be that much more efficient. I think the end result of it is not as much electricity as you think, or at least is not as much as we need to power 100% electric cars as of today. I could be totally wrong. I am not an engineer, but that's kind of one of my thinkings on modern. At some point in the future, the cars need to be smaller and lighter in order to be that much more efficient, and that changes everything. Yeah. Well, and speed trains are sort of the proof of the pudding. I mean, that's kind of what most of them do. The new train, I was watching one of these, I think it was in Germany, one of the new trains. It has enough batteries on board, so because electric trains run on a wire, and or a rail, if there's an earthquake, like in Japan where they're common, it shuts down the train. Well, the trains now carry enough battery, so if there's a shutdown, it can still proceed forward, not at hyperspeed, but to the platform. So anyway, I think that even at my age, I'm going to see a lot of this. FIA is talking 2022, right? Wasn't that their I thought that was the number. It was just, they just said soon. I thought, I'm crisscrossing stories. Anyway, really interesting, and you can read the full article. All right, a couple more things. If you're a farm simulator, there's a dog hair stuck to my mic. If you're into Farm Simulator, the new one's coming. Farm Simulator 22. Q4. What else? Just check this out.
The next generation motion simulator and smart chair is available from $790 on Kickstarter from this Friday. The highest dynamic motion range in the market.
Because investments on Kickstarter always pay off.
Extremely low latency and high precision motion control. Perfect workstation for preserving health.
As of today.
Correction and brake timer. Don't miss out on this special pricing on Kickstarter. Click and subscribe to be updated on the launch.
Feel VR. yawvr.com. Okay, what happened here? Oh, this is perfect. All right, after that last article. I'm not going to do it. Wired with how to reduce motion sickness and virtual reality. Anyway, if you have trouble with your VR, you might want to follow that link and check it out. All right, let's look at some rigs, talk about some racing, and then call it a day, you guys. I've had a lot of fun. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the new live version of the Pitstop. Again, if you ever have any thoughts, opinions, always hit me up, put it in the comments, jump in our Discord, send me a message there. Let me know what you think we should include or exclude or focus more on or whatever. I'm always listening, you guys, and this show here proves it. But this was posted by Freaky MRG. MRQ. Had to get some work done to the rig today. Got to love it. I wish I had that set up. All right, what else? 9 hours assembling this for his son. He's 14 and getting rapid. This thing is solid as a rock. Talking about his track racer. Looks like he's got a CSL Fanatic base, pedals, wheel rim for his son. This is done by 4202 PMERT. So there's the Dad of the Year. The Dad of the Year award goes to 4202 PMERT. If you watch this show, I'll send you Simpit stickers for being the Dad of the Year. Seriously, that's the get him in at 14. Distract him from karting because it's really expensive. Get him into the Olympics in Gran Turismo so they can make a name for themselves with a gold medal. Yamaha 180 posted this. And you guys know, I embrace from the basement to the penthouse when it comes to sim racing. You know this. So this is Yamaha 180. It ain't much, but it's home. Hell yeah, look at this. Priorities where they are, though. I've got my triple screens. Right? I'm not ready for a rig. Maybe he hasn't seen this Deathmobile right here, though. Solid as a rock. Alright, this was by Dexox. His first DIY wheel, what do you guys think? He even cutted the aluminum by hand. Not perfectly finished, but a solid base. Shape is inspired by Turn R20. That's what my grips look like on my McLaren rim under the leather wrap to an extent. It's just so hard to get that curve really, really nice on a 3D printer. Sanding. Just takes a lot of sanding. Anyway, nicely done. I'm impressed. This one. Everyone, how many of you have 3D printed or... How many of you... Wait, so... How many of you have 3D printed track maps on your wall? I do. I could grab one right there. It would take me half a second to grab one. Better yet, how many of you have the real deal cut out of like that fine Brazilian mahogany or whatever from that linear art, I think they might be called? How many of you have the real deal ones on your wall, and what size did you buy? And how many of you 3D printed your own or got them from a friend 3D printed? But how many of you have them on your wall in your sim cave? I do. I do. Here, oh wait, so Heiko does. Hold on, I'll show you. You've seen them, but... I have all of the F1 tracks from last season. I've got printed, yes, yeah, thank you for clarifying, Heiko. I've got my own printed. I plan on coloring the Abu Dhabi, is what it says. So here's my Abu Dhabi. Is Abu Dhabi on his wall? John Hill? You know I'm live. John Hill.
Hey, good show. Yeah, I like.
What do you mean good? I'm still on the air. What do you mean good show? You're on the air.
You're on Twitch?
You're on the air. I'm on YouTube. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you ended a while ago. What's going on?
I don't know. I'm live right now.
You're on your new Deathmobile rig?
You're live right now.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. I just got off my. I was watching you on the treadmill.
Okay, that's enough of that. All right, thank you, John Hill. All right, thank you, John Hill.
Well, listen, let me get back to the hard work. Good show.
All right. Bye-bye. He has this one on the bottom, the very, very bottom track there. I'm not sure. He was watching last week's show. Joa used a black Sharpie on his wall. Well done. Well done. All right. I have 20 of them, I think. All right. Yeah, so let's just keep talking. Kids, drugs are bad. All right. Oh, fantastic. All right, you guys. Anyway, nice looking rig there. NLBium. Anyway, so not that many of you. I know nobody has the real deal. No one has the real deal ones, the wood ones, much larger than if you. I mean, I have a fairly large 3D printer, so this is good size for a one piece, for a onesie. I give you that, Joa. Joe Hain posted this one. Finally built himself a decent sim racing setup. He's got himself a Deathmobile. Look at that. Da-da-da. Deathmobile. I'm all excited. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm live. It's going to take a while to adjust back to live. Anyway, really nice Deathmobile there. Painted, I might add. That's by Joe Hain. All right. Oval Racing. Let's congratulate Joe Hildinger for his win last night at Richmond. Great job by him. He wins the race over Mark Michkowski and Nick Boyd finishing in third. And taking a look at the points, Mark Michkowski is leading in the points with 170. This is the Simpit Oval League and the trucks. And Joe Hildinger now in second. And David Clymer is now sitting in third place. And I heard it was a really good race by the guys. I was too worn out. I was still trying to add a button box and things to my rig, and I got the casters on it, and I was just too sore and worn out, and I didn't make the race, unfortunately. But yesterday was a big day for me. Also, looking at the roadside, so last Sunday, Terry Crouch won the race, making it 2 for 2. So third race of the season is coming up at Nordschleife, or Nürburgring combined, if you want to call it. But Terry, we'll see if he can make it 3 in a row this Sunday. Terry Crouch won the race at Hockenheim Ring. Gonzalo Perón in second, and Randall White. That was a good race, too. Gonzalo really made Terry work hard for it. So congratulations to those podium finishers. And after 2 races, Terry is leading the way, obviously, with 2 wins, 100 points. Gonzalo Perón in second, and Randall White in third. And it is time to start getting excited about the American Muscle Series. This is the Simpit Devon Booth Mustang Series. The American Muscle Series sponsored by Rick Motep. Here is the schedule, and it all kicks off 6/1. So it'll be running for a good 5-month run, and sign-ups are there. I do have a link. Did I add this link? Here, I'm going to put it here. I'm not sure. I'll add it after the show. I'm not sure. I usually stop putting the links at the point of that. Oh, Devin, you can delete that if you didn't want that public. Sorry. Anyway, sign-ups are now going. Oh, Devin did it. There we go. So he did it himself. But if you want to take part in that series thing, we're getting ready for it. It was really fun racing. I will definitely be looking forward to the Mustangs for sure. So that's coming up. And then a big reminder, starting tomorrow morning, let's see, that's 8 a.m. Eastern. So 12 p.m. GMT, 8 a.m. Eastern, I believe that is. So that's like 5 a.m. my time. Yep, that's right. We are going to have the Simpit racing team, the Simpit Endurance racing team. I am not taking part because I'm not very good at Nürburgring. Not on an endurance level for sure. But we have the team taking action. It'll be, you can watch it live at Simpit Live on Twitch, KA Sim Racing on Twitch, and Sensi Skunk on Twitch as well. And we'll have those streams going. All that starts tomorrow at 5 a.m. and will be going on for 24 hours. So quite a day for those guys, quite a weekend for all of us. And that takes us to the end of the show. So thank you so much. Patron race results. Oh, I don't, hold on. Bear with me. I don't, Joa Antonio won. I'm sorry about this. Sorry, guys. Joa, I'm sorry. Joa, I don't have a graphic to put this on, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna give huge pat on the back to Joa Antonio for putting on quite the show. We took the Simpit patron race to Race Room this month, and kind of threw a curveball at everybody because a lot of us don't race it, or it's been many years. So Joa Antonio, who has a lot of previous experience in the sim, jumped to it like a fish to water, and really just no one had anything for Joa. So let's congratulate Joa Antonio on winning this month's Simpit. Oh, wait, I have the top finished printing. It took a second print on this one. I don't know why. Oh, it's not going to come off. It's being stubborn. I don't want to break it. Oh, I have the top. Anyway, Joa's trophy is almost finished. Sorry to do that to you and run away from the show. But anyway, yeah, exactly. Big time. Anyway, congratulations, Joe. It was a really fun race to do. I didn't stream it because it was Race Room. Anyway, this month we're probably going to switch back to iRacing, and we are still kind of working on secretly how we can possibly do a Wreckfest patron event. So anyway, that is going to do it for today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in for the live show. I hope you like that the show is live. Again, the community asked, I respond. Here we are. But I want you to have a great weekend. Get out there, do some sim racing. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.